Good afternoon. I hope you're all well and surviving this very stormy weather. Certainly here in Perth, it's very, very stormy. So I thought I would come on today and basically have a look at a couple of the energies coming up. One of my other astrology videos is about the full supermoon in Aquarius, which talks a lot about some of the energies. I'm not going to rehash all of those. I am going to focus today particularly on Lionsgate, looking at where Mercury is, the moon is, and obviously the sun, because on the 5th we've got Mercury going into Virgo. On the 23rd we have the sun moving from Leo into Virgo. And we have Mars going into Gemini on the 20th or 21st of August. So these are all big energies that I'm going to have a chat about, at least in brief, for this month of August. But I think the main focus of today will generally be about Lionsgate. So let's have a look. We'll start, of course, with the fact that we have on the 5th, we have Mercury going into Virgo. So Mercury is the planet of communication. It's in Virgo up here. Now, in this chart is actually set for Perth, WA, on the day of Lionsgate, the 8th of the 8th. But as you can see, Mercury is at 6 degrees of Virgo. But it starts its journey into Virgo obviously on the 5th. This chart is for the 8th, which is a Lionsgate day. So when Mercury goes into Virgo, Virgo is very much detail oriented. Mercury is the planet of communication, learning, information, getting all the information, all the facts together. Mercury loves to have Mercury is a very, very playful sort of energy, so it needs to have all the facts, all the information, wants to learn, wants everything together, and then wants to bring it all into some sort of plan. So Virgo is very helpful in that sense, because Virgo is the energy of discernment, practicality, highly analytical. So in a sense, Virgo makes all of that really supercharged, inquisitive, inquisitive, joyful, enthusiastic sort of energy come into some sort of practical plan. It also asks us to look at what do we need to be discerning about? What are some of the details that we're not looking at? What maybe do we need to continue to focus on? And gets us to really, really get ourselves organised and into some sort of place where we can move forward and makes plans for things. Mercury also is an air sign. It rules the mind, so that there might be some issues going on here with basically some sort of mental healing going on, or a focus on, mental energy going out to the planet. You could be sending it out there in a healing way, or yourself looking at your energy. So Mercury, that's Mercury in Virgo. So on the 8th, we have we have the Lionsgate activation. So the 8th of the 8th. Now, 8 in numerology is the sign of infinity, of abundance. It's also the sign, it's also connected, 8, of course, we have the 8th house. And the 8th house is connected to Scorpio, ruled by Pluto, and it's all about transformation. We also have the 8 in tarot, which is the strength card. And if you know that card, especially from the old Waite Rider deck, you'll see a woman who's got her hand in a lion's mouth, and she's actually she's sitting there very unaffected, not frightened, not scared, but just basically feeling within her own particular power. So at this time with Lionsgate, Sirius, which is another star, rises at this time. And so this opens up a big portal to a lot of higher vibrational beings. And it's actually a very intense time for those people who identify as starseeds, because there's basically a greater consciousness that comes in around your talents, your energies, your healing, and also getting a strong sense of what your soul purpose or your soul mission might be on this planet. It could also open you up into other lifetimes, other timelines, perhaps where you've been in other places here on Earth, but maybe other lifetimes on other planets as well. And so there's a whole heap of light codes coming in to really activate and wake us up, because there are certainly some of those energies from those other lifetimes and those other dimensions and those other planets, etc., from our past lives, have been dormant within us. So the Lionsgate activation is really waking us up, really bringing in those basically energies. It also brings in prosperity and abundance, so that's really important. This is a really positive time to set your intentions and basically manifest. Look at what you want to manifest. Doing a dream journal, etc. Doing some very powerful meditations would also probably be really, really helpful. It also asks us, it also can raise within us, those of us who have memories perhaps of being in other places, because there might be some of you listening who do. It can also raise memories of what that might have been, and soul memories, and maybe even messages from those particular times, which come through and really help us at a soul level to expand in a really big way. So that's really, really important as well. So the sun is in Leo. So the sun is over here in Leo. And basically it's this particular point actually connects to the Pleiadian energy. And so it actually asks us to look at how we're evolving and growing and making the most of this lifetime. And it really tries to get us to expand into the courage of being ourselves, shining our light for ourselves, but also for those around us, so that we can actually then move forward in our own authentic way on our soul journey. And this comes from a deep place of unconditional love, which is really, really powerful, but it can also come with a whole range of programming as well, which could be connected to old patterns, old ways of being, and maybe some old fears as well, which come through for us, but what it's doing, which is really, really powerful, is it's again moving forward and bringing to light those things so that we can actually basically become the full expression of who we are in our own sense and in our light. But also we have to become unraveled first in order to do that. Shaking us up, we have Uranus and the North Node. We have this trine happening here in Taurus. Taurus is, of course, about values, what we value, material possessions, etc., those sorts of things. And it's Uranus being here is asking us, what are we shaking off? What at this time are we not carrying forward anymore? What do we need to get rid of? Because we don't want to actually move forward into, we can't move forward into that soul space, that place of light and being and happiness and joy that comes with being our authentic selves and shining our light, not only for ourselves but for other people, when we're holding on to things that maybe don't work for us. So that's really important. And we're bringing in new experiences about how we build our lives, because Taurus is an earth sign. It's very practical. It's a builder. So it's also about farming and the senses as well. So it's very, very practical, very grounded, brings in a lot of the building energy, and it wants to basically stabilize itself. It's a fixed sign, so it's not happy to be chopping and changing a lot. It wants stability, so that's really important. And it also wants things to be really, really simple, clear, and wants things to be obvious as well. So at this time, we could also be tapping into some of our psychic gifts as well, with these changes coming, and where we've used those particular gifts and talents in other lifetimes, and how we might also need to bring them in this particular lifetime to be using them as well. Now with this, we have the South Node. The South Node is in Scorpio. Here it is up here in Scorpio. And so basically, Scorpio is very intense energy. It's about intense emotions. It could be fears, because Scorpio is ruled by Pluto coming up. It leads to great, deep transformation, but it's almost like it's that Tower card. It makes us really and truly go to the depths of ourselves and really shakes us up in a big way to get to what is actually going to be our most authentic parts of ourselves. And it also clears out what we don't need, emotions we don't need, patterns, relationships, dynamics, what's healthy, what's not healthy, and look what connections we actually need in order to move forward, which is really, really powerful. And with that, it also takes us to the depths and to sometimes the unconscious things, those unconscious patterns and areas of our world that we haven't looked at for whatever reason. And so it's asking us to really look at all of that, bring it to light, and actually clear all of that out, so we can actually move into a space where we are going to shine, which is really important. So the North Node and South Node are squaring So the North Node is here in Scorpio. The South Node is node in Taurus, South Node in Scorpio. So these are actually squaring. These are actually squaring Leo, the Sun in Leo here. So 18, 18, and the Sun is at 15 in Leo at this particular point in time. So this is waking us up again to a significant experience or opportunity that's coming to us at a soul level. And it's coming to us to look at and pushing us to move forward and make big life changes as well that show us how we can create a different reality and how we're actually here, because Leo wants to shine. So we need to be our authentic self in terms of shining. So it's bringing forward us into a space where we now need to get rid of lots of things, and it allows us to empower ourselves so we can move not only ourselves forward but also humanity forward, because this is a big time in terms of the galactic consciousness as well, because with this Uranus energy and with the supermoon, which I've already spoken about, which will be in Aquarius on the 11th and 12th, not so long. This bring in Aquarius and Uranus, bring in those galactic energies, those big picture energies coming forward, and certainly this will do. So we're needing to step into the courage to be who we are, about what our identity is about, what is outdated, and to write a new, stronger, different story for ourselves and clean up what no longer suits us, what no longer works for us. Leo here is also connected to, it's not only the lion, and this is the Lionsgate opening, but it's also connected to the heart. So there's changes and expansion going on for us all in relation to our heart chakras. And we're now moving into that really strong energy of the higher heart, which is that higher heart, the higher unconditional love, not just for self, not just for others, but at a bigger global humanitarian place, which is really, really powerful. And this connects us to unconditional love all around us, which I think is very much here and very much flooding the earth at the moment. So our hearts are being unlocked, and anything that limits us and where we don't see ourselves from that highest place of unconditional love is actually going to be falling away as well. And this is really, really important, because we're really needing to now start to trust that energy within ourselves so that we can actually really step into more of who we are. We have that triple conjunction, which I've already spoken about in Taurus down here. Obviously, Uranus, the North Node, and Mars. And so here with Taurus, we're asking about what do we value, what are we determined about, what choices are we making that really value ourselves. And the North Node is actually asking us to look at, the North Node is the way forward. So it's asking us to reinvent ourselves, to make healthy choices, higher frequency choices. So do I take the higher path? Do I do my spiritual work or not? Do I move myself forward? And it's always a choice. So on the 20th and 21st of August until the 25th of March 2023, we have Mars is actually going to move off, and it's moving to Taurus, and it will move into Gemini. So it's going to move from here into Gemini over here. It'll move fairly quickly. That's the 20th of August. Now, this is really important because Mars is actually going to sit in the sign of Gemini for many, many months, probably nearly 6 or 7 months. And that's unusual because Mars usually moves a lot faster, usually a sign for about 2 months. But in this time, it's actually going to go what we call retrograde. So it's actually going to go back on itself, And in a sense, that will happen from October this year to January 12th, 2023. But that energy is actually beginning now at this point in time. So this is a change over time. So Mars rules in the old astrology, it rules Scorpio. In modern astrology, we say it actually rules Aries. And Aries is about the head. It's about determination, the warrior energy, the drive to move forward. Scorpio is very intense energy. It wants us to go deep within ourselves because Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. It wants to look at our motives. It wants us to go underground. But either way, both of these energies are very, very focused energies. And with Mars likes to be one-pointed and have a focus. It likes to basically move forward with that warrior energy. But in Gemini is the twin. So it's about duality. So it's going to get us to look at the different dualities in our world, light and dark, good and bad. healthy, unhealthy, helpful and unhelpful, a whole range of dualities going on that are going on within ourselves, and looking at not only our habits and patterns, but also our choices that we're making too. So that's really important. And we need to look at then within ourselves, because this is sitting there for such a long time, at what am I choosing? Now, Gemini is also rules communication and words. It's of the mental mind as well. So one of the things that are really, really important for us at this particular point is we need to look at what words am I using? What am I communicating? Words can be very, very powerful. They can either help or heal. So, and in a sense, my teacher, Grandmaster Cho, would always say, worry less about, what you put in your body, and worry more about what comes out of your mouth. So at this point in time, we really need to be very, very careful about the words we're using, and how we're actually using those words to actually create a space of love, or create a space of fear, or a positive space or a negative space, because words actually create the energy of what we're experiencing around us. And that's very, very powerful. It's the words not only that we use with other people, it's the words that we use and the self-talk that we give ourselves as well, which is really, really important. And one of the things with Gemini, when it goes retrograde, it also starts to say, look, there's not one way to do things. There are multiple ways of doing things, and we need to ask ourselves questions. And the questions we ask ourselves at these times are things like, who, how, and what can I do to serve? We need to learn to reflect on ourselves and our actions and our motivations. And in Gemini, it's a time of great learning, but we also, with that learning, with the exploration of the ideas, etc., need to learn that we can, in fact, make really good choices, and we need to trust ourselves to do so. So that's very, very powerful energy. Now, the final energy I just want to speak about today is the sun will go into Virgo on the 23rd of August until the September 22nd. So this is a really important energy, because we're moving out of Leo. We're now moving into Virgo, which is an earth sign. But Virgo, like a lot of the earth signs, is very, very practical. It's a mutable sign, so it can be, it can be quite adaptable. There can be quite a lot of change going on. So one of the things that is really helpful at this time is that we're going to be motivated to try and find a practical way to use our skills, because Virgo also rules the 6th house, which is about work, everyday activities, and our health. So health, looking after our health, particularly looking at our habits, etc., health habits and the things we're doing and the work we're doing and why we're doing it, etc., might be really, really important. It's also a chance to look at how we're using our talents and abilities. And Virgo, unlike Leo, which is like Virgo is here, Leo is here, and Virgo usually sits opposite Leo, it sits opposite its dual sign. Leo likes to shine, likes to be out there in the spotlight, but Virgo is not into being the center of attention. Virgo just wants to serve. Virgo is here to be very practical. Virgo is saying, I'm not here to show myself to everybody. So, but it wants to do the work. So because the need to be of service is such an important thing, and needing to be recognized, needing to be valued, and needing to be useful, the recognition that it's opposite sign Leo often wants is not really as important for the sign of Virgo. So this is a really great time when the sun is in Virgo, because there's a lot of energy, there's a lot of drive, there's a lot of motivation with that sun energy, to basically get into practical planning around things. Great time to reorganize, restructure, clear stuff out. Pay attention to the details and sort things out. It might be a great time. I know I've got to sort out my taxation. So a useful time to sort out all those details and everyday things that we need to do. And we need to look at, and what Virgo does, which is really helpful, is its attention is focused on the details, but it's also very good on looking at what is essential, what's necessary, what do we really and truly need to get done, and using that really strong discerning energy to make stuff happen. So as I said, just to recap, this is a really big month. There's a lot of things starting to change at this time, because we have the Lionsgate energy. We have now coming in on the 11th and 12th, the Supermoon in Aquarius. We also will have a new moon in Virgo towards the end of the the end of the month as well. I think it's about the 24th or the 25th of August, which I'll speak about again, which is again a new beginning. And being in Virgo, it'll be about very practical things, getting organized, planning, etc., being really discerning. And we, of course, have Mars moving into Gemini, and we have Mercury going into Virgo. So quite a lot of energy, quite a lot of things moving on at this particular point in time. So a time of big energy changes, time of exciting changes, time to really look into your soul growth and where you're heading. I know I'll be certainly doing, well, I'm meditating daily anyway, but I'll certainly be doing a lot more work looking at where I need to be going next, and maybe making some of those practical plans and steps and really clearing stuff out, so that basically as I move forward, and as we all move forward into the energy of September, we have a clear run to be able to put together what we really need to do. So I hope that's been helpful for you today. Wishing you lots of love and lots of blessings. Hope you have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Oh, and if you like this video, click like and subscribe. It's free. Thank you. Bye.